A decade of Delmarva life, and one thing that we have learned from this show is that there is no shortage of, well, just cool people living here on Delmarva. And we're going to spend a little time with one of them this afternoon. We'd like to welcome back Tracy Sahler to Delmarva Life. How are you?
I'm doing great today. How are you?
Wonderful. Thank you for joining us. Listen, we know that you happen to be an avid traveler of Delmarva, and we know that you have put together a treasures basket. Would that be the right thing to
Yeah,
call it?
I'd say that's fair. It started out being kind of a treasure pocket where you just kind of pick things up and put them in your jacket as you go along,
Right.
and then you find you have too much sand and rocks and pieces of wood in your pockets, so then you start looking for a basket. So,
Okay, so what's in there?
Well, I've kind of gathered things that interest me. It may be cool shells, cool rocks, pieces of driftwood. So it's always just trying to find things that will remind me of the places that my husband and I have traveled.
I was going to say, do you remember any stories about the things that you find and put in the basket?
There are so many stories. Almost every weekend, especially during COVID, because we weren't going anywhere else.
Right.
It was safe to hop in the car, to pack a bag of snacks, and we called it the End of the World Tour because the object was to try to get to the end of every road that we could find. And we'd look for boat ramps, look for water, places that we could, really get out and explore. And we've been doing that for, I guess, about a year and a half now. And a lot of the things that I've picked up have come in those travels.
I think you better keep him. He sounds like fun.
He's a keeper. We hit our 30th anniversary this spring, so
congratulations.
We've been traveling for a while.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, so what is the mantle rock? You've got a mantle rock on your mantle?
So that is not an Eastern Shore artifact,
okay.
But that is from our travels back in the summer of 2019. We took a trip to Newfoundland, and if you think you've taken a long road trip before, you haven't driven from Salisbury to Newfoundland, because that's a long way. But there's a national park in Newfoundland where there are pieces of mantle, the Earth's Mantle, that are just lying around.
The Earth's Mantle. That's what you mean.
Earth's Mantle. So this was made millions of years ago, I would expect. And so we brought our mantle rock home and put it on the mantle.
Okay, you've got a please touch table on the deck.
Yeah, so not everything comes in the house. There are whelk shells and long pieces of driftwood, and I've just kind of taken to putting them on our picnic table out on our deck, and I call it a please touch table because when we would have a child stop by, we have nieces who are young, and they'll climb right up and start messing with the shells, and we want them to touch them. In fact, somebody recently delivered Girl Scout cookies to us, brought her granddaughter with us, who was the Girl Scout, and the Girl Scout hopped right up there, started messing with the please touch table. So it's a way of sharing what we find with others. That
is awesome. Okay, here's the toughest question of all. Have you got a favorite?
Oh boy. I'm kind of thinking that cleat from Oxford is one.
Really?
There's some rusty bolts. Boy, it's tough. I might just find my favorite when I go out this weekend.
Oh, see, there you go. Tracy Sahler, thank you so much for sharing your special stuff with us. You are such a cool person.